Hi everyone, welcome back to Guitar on the Real World. Today I'm going to continue the Donald Fagen theme just for 1 week longer, just indulge me. And we're going to be looking at Drew Zingg's little solo breaks that he does in the live version of Greenflower Street. This is the version that you will find on the New York Rock and Soul Review album Live from the Beacon, which was recorded at the Beacon Theatre in New York in 1991, I think. And the music on this album was actually the first time I became aware of Drew Zingg's playing. He plays with a style that's very reminiscent of kind of the post-Carlton style of jazz rock guitar playing. There's a lot of blues in there, but there's also a lot of bebop and extended chord kind of upper structure kind of lines, so playing on the extensions of the chords. And those two techniques are very much in evidence in the two phrases that we're going to look at here. So the first one is the solo break takes place in the kind of bridge section of the song, which is like an instrumental. The original version featured Larry Carlton, who played much more simplistic, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but much more simplistic blues ideas. Here, Drew is going all out, extended chords, bebop, the works really, and really, you know, tearing it up actually. So the first line he plays is over kind of G minor over C, C11th. So you get the basically the riff is C11th kind of sound there. And what Drew does is he plays straight up this kind of B flat major 7th kind of idea. It's a big arpeggio thing, so it goes. Okay, so it's very much a B flat kind of idea. That really gives the sense of the G minor over C sound. Mixolydian, you could call it as well, because you're playing the notes that belong to the key of F. So that's the first line, starting on that A. Okay, and then he goes. So that's, again, all C Mixolydian. So what's that? Coming down those particular notes really makes it quite beboppy. There's a very common bebop device. Imagine if you were playing over a 2-5-1 in F. You'd often get beboppers playing the line going chromatically down from the C to the B natural to the B flat. It's a real bebop cliche. And you'll find that in modern players, just as much as you would the bebop era. You know, Michael Brecker's playing features that little thing an awful lot, and actually Pat Metheny's does as well, to some degree or other. That kind of, even if he's not using exactly the same notes in relation to the key, that little features quite a lot. So here we've got the opening statement from this is basically really tricky, really tricky. Lots of string crossing going on here as well. So okay, so once we've got off the bebop thing, we do this. Starting on the C, and he goes up a kind of a C5 arpeggio, C, G, C, C, B flat to A. So it's still very much a C Mixolydian idea. Oops. Comes down D, C, B flat. Again, really sounds very Mixolydian because that's a very B flat major kind of sound. B flat major pentatonic maybe. Then he goes up, back up to the A, skipping strings. D, A, G, and I think he slides that. It's kind of hard to hear the exact fingering that he uses. I tried a couple of different things, and I first transcribed this years ago. I mean, on this phrase in particular, I've stuck with the original fingerings. It just keeps it all compact. It just makes it quite awkward on the picking hand to get across the strings. Even at a low speed like that, it's quite tricky. You can put hammer-ons and pull-offs where you feel it's necessary to make the picking easier, I would say. You could do that. So yeah, that's basically the first phrase. Okay, so the next phrase. You thought that one was difficult. This one gets even harder. This is the point of the bridge where the chord goes down to F over G, G7, sus4. Again, we can see this as a kind of a Mixolydian chord. What Drew plays here, though, is he kind of outlines a big D minor ninth thing with a few B flat notes thrown in for good measure. So it's kind of bluesy. He's not treating it as a strict Mixolydian sound, because if it was that, you'd be on this scale, the B natural. But the opening statement, he goes. So it's almost like a big B flat major 7th thing again. It's almost like he's treating it more like a G minor 11th, if you will, or G minor 13th. So this is all this whole superimposed arpeggio business. So the phrase slowly is. At the end, but that's just a kind of a blues thing. So we can see that we're going. You can hear the sound of those stacked thirds taking the sound more and more away from the tonal centre. So you get up to this E at the top here. So he's creating this kind of chord sound here. And that's why this line has such a hip sound to it. It's because he's just taking us away from the key centre with every little note. And then he comes back down the thing again. Okay, fingering for this. I've tried a couple of different things over the years with this. What I think is probably more user-friendly is if we kind of do more expanding up the strings than going purely across the strings. So, do the first bit. Up to the A there. So it's kind of 2 notes per strings. So we're going. Got an A again, but now here. You could also use the F there if you wanted. Yeah, so that's basically the 2 phrases broken down a little bit. I will play each phrase slowly again, and then you can hear them in the context of the track with the groove. Okay. Okay guys, see you next time. Cheers.